Alright, so just a word before I start this video. I don't know if it's going to be a tutorial, a walkthrough, what it's going to be. You can see I've got the car finished behind me in the background there. But this was a pain in the ass. It took a long time, took a lot of tools, a lot of effort. Got a lot of parts lying in my garage now that I'm going to need to clean up. It's not for the faint of heart, but if you want to see what's involved in a facelift swap from an 05 to an 09 JDM front, essentially, hey, follow along. It's your time, right? Anyway, here we go. So I've been stuck inside for the last week or so with the whole coronavirus quarantine thing going on, which sucks, but what it means is that today I can finally start throwing that front end onto my car, which is parked out there. It's taken me so long because I've been working on these fenders, and I threw in that hood scoop there. That's an extended hood scoop, just for good measure. When I got them, they came super scratched up, really bad looking, and I took them to a body shop, and they told me it was going to cost over $1,000 to get these things fixed up. That was pretty annoying and ridiculous, so I went ahead and decided to do it myself. I bought about 125 bucks of paint supplies online. I'll link maybe some of the stuff in the description when I'm done here. But yeah, I went ahead and sprayed everything myself, sanded it down, did the body filler, did the prep work and all that stuff, and used that 2K clear. And look at that. It came out looking really good. And speaking of matching paint, I thought that would be something that I wasn't going to be able to do completely, but check that out. That's about as close to a match as you could possibly get, I'd say. It turned out perfect. So I'm super happy with that. And basically, I've done all the steps except sand this down with a 2000 grit and then give it a nice polish to get rid of, it's okay, Henry, some of that orange peel that you see there. That's all going to get taken care of with this next process. So I'm not going to put that on camera because it doesn't really matter. But I figured I'd just do a bit of an introduction here before I get started with the whole swap. So I'm going to take a second, it's going to take about an hour actually, and sand these down, polish them up, and then pull the car in and start taking some stuff off to get that on there with the headlights, which I think are over there somewhere. Anyway, here. But now we're going to go ahead and remove everything. So this all has to come off, everything from the fender, bumper, to the other fender, and then bumper beam as well, and everything over here is going to go onto there. So I'll try and document this a little bit. That I don't think is going to be the main focus of this. I'll just go over kind of the key points as to how to take all this stuff off. So here we go. First thing I'm going to do is remove the grill. We've got some poppets there and then some clips here. Grill's going to come right off. Well, the next thing I need to do to get this fender off is I need to detach the bottom here, the side sill. So there's one poppet there, one poppet there, and then it's just a series of other poppets along the bottom until you get to the back, and then once they're all out, you just go ahead and like start prying and pulling the thing off. I had some double-sided tape also sticking it to the body. I don't know if that's a stock thing or if my car has had some work done and that was put on afterward, but you may find that there's some tape there as well. So I'm gonna get those out. All right, so I got the siding off there, and wow, you can see there's a lot of crap under these sills. Look at all those leaves and stuff, and then even worse, these rails on here. They don't really look that good to me. Maybe you guys can pitch in and tell me if that's normal, but they're looking a little rustier than I would like them to. So That's kind of a shitty thing. Let's look at the other side here. Yeah, look at all that crap. But the rails. Those rails. Jeez. Anyway, maybe I'll do something about that. We'll see how it goes. But next thing we need to do is get these fenders and bumper off, and then we can get to the headlights and the beams and all that stuff. So I'll start with probably the fenders here. Okay, so side soles are off. I decided to jack the car up for this because it'll let me, a couple of reasons. I need to get under the bumper here to take out some stuff, and I need to take the wheels off. I suppose you don't really need to take them off, but it's a lot easier to take them off because I'm going to be taking the I don't know what you'd call this, the mud guard, I guess, from the wheel well out here, because you need to do that to replace them with the JDM ones. And then I'm going to need to get in here to undo this clip for the bumper. So first thing I'm going to do is take these mud guards themselves off, and that way I can get access to all this stuff back here. And then I'll go around and undo the clips at the bottom of the bumper as well. Okay, so let's get this fender well cover off. How you want to do this, let me just throw that on that light. Start with the back here, take that, and then this one here, and then moving all the way up, there's a 10mm bolt right there. My well is extremely dirty and disgusting, so it's kind of difficult to make out some of these, but there's another one here, and another one, I think it is, yeah, right there. See, it's pretty much invisible, but it's there. So you want to get all that off, and then there's one that's down there somewhere, like in the front. When you pull all these off, you'll see it, and that's all that needs to come off. And then you can pull this whole thing down. Maybe I'll try and get some of that on video, and that. This car's got a lot of this rust spray type stuff everywhere, and it's disgusting. And I think that it's actually kind of run counter to its purpose, and these fluids are trapping dirt that's causing rust in some spots. So one of the things I think I might do with this car is run through and kind of take that fluid out wherever I can. Anyway, that one's out. Alright, so that fender well is out. And you can see it's pretty dirty in there. I think I'm going to degrease all this. But anyway, getting back to the task. So we took that off because we need to get to that clip right there. Now you can take off the bumper by just pulling it back and getting to that clip, but I'm going to have to replace all this stuff anyway, so that's why I'm doing it this way. So we'll detach that clip, and then the bumper should probably be able to pull right off after that. We'll try and see. Okay, so bumper is off. Things seem to be going well for now, which is nice. Next step is we're going to get the bumper beam and the headlights off and strip this thing down to the bones. Then we can start adding things on. And since it's pretty late tonight, I might start doing that tomorrow, but that doesn't really matter to you guys. So the headlights are pretty simple. If memory serves me well, I think you need to take the headlights off before you do the bumper beam. And just looking at the way it's set up there, it looks like that's correct. Obviously, you need to take that off, this one here too, and then coming down, you're gonna continue taking screws off till you can get this bracket off. Then the headlight should pop off itself. Moving over to the right side, do the same thing over there. And then you'll be able to get into these bolts right in there, which are going to be the bolts that you need to get this big thing off. Alright, so headlights are off, as you can see. Now we need to do the bumper beam. So I think it's just 1, 2, 3, 4 on each side. And then this bitch pops off. Okay, well, the bumper beam is off. Bumper beam is off, as you see there. And I think I'm done removing parts off the front. Although I may have to remove that bottom black part. We'll see. I'll get to that in a bit. Before I do any of that, though, it's time for the fenders to come off. Hopefully I'm able to line those things back up properly when I get them on, but I guess that'll be a problem for later on. Either way, screw there, a couple of screws at the bottom here. And I think that's all I need to detach for the fender. Let me just take a look in there. Yeah. Oh, this one here too. That's it. I'll pull those off and get those two fenders off. And that might be it for the night. Okay, well, I did it. Both fenders are off. Bumpers off, headlights are off. Everything on the front of the car is off. Can you believe I took a perfectly functioning car and turned it into this? Anyway, that's going to be going on tomorrow. Hopefully everything runs smoothly. And I think I'm going to take a bit of a break. So that's not really going to affect the video because I'm just going to start it back up when I start again tomorrow. But that's it for me for today. So see you in a sec. Okay, so it's another day. I went through and cleaned up a few things. This car has some rust on it that I didn't know about, which kind of sucks. But, I mean, what can you do, right? Anyway, I started transplanting everything over. I moved this little bottom section over. I don't know if I need to, but I have it, so I'm going to. And next thing is going to be the bumper support, the, whatever you want to call that, the bumper bar. And then from there, I think we're probably good to start moving on with the headlights as well. One thing I want to mention is I took this opportunity while the fenders are off to run this little cable here. I did this on my last car and I didn't take the fender off to do it, so you can actually do this from the wheel well. But what I did is I took that wire, took two wires actually, and ran them through here, following along kind of where the wiring harness goes, and then through that grommet there, if you can see that. What you're seeing with this red and black is the wire that's going to run to my headlights and become the DRL trigger. That's going to go inside, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that later. And then the other one is another wire that I'm going to use for something else later too. So I figure while I have this off, I'll run those. And if you're doing this, that might be a good idea to do that as well. But yeah, bumper bar is going to go over, and then I think I'm going to start doing the headlights. Alright, so continuing along with putting this thing back together, I've gotten the two bumper beams on, and as you can see, I've put on the headlights a little bit. I've just kind of tacked them into place with the support loosely, just because the way these connect is they seem to connect into the fender rather than onto the frame so much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the fender on and try and fit them in, and then tighten everything up. For the wiring, my little rig that seems to be working there nicely. As you can see, the thing that we wired up goes into the socket from the old light, which plugs into the USDM body harness there. And then these two wires that you see coming up here are going to be what I build my DRL harness with. And everything else is as per. So I'll throw those fenders on, maybe see if I can attach this in any other spots if I need to. Definitely this spot's going to need to be attached, and the other one over there. And I guess we'll go from there. About to throw the bumper back on, but first what I did is I took these fog light ends and I cut the end off of the JDM one and crimped them together to make myself some nice harnesses that'll be plug and play for the new bumper. Okay, so as you can see, bumper is on, everything is set up. Just need to get those wheels back on. And I've taken the time here to build a little bit of a harness for my DRLs. So the wire that I had set previously coming through the fender comes all the way along and connects to the green and black wires you see there. And then I'm gonna actually cover this up with some of that like black plastic sheeting stuff like this later, but for now I'll run it like this. And then we connect over here for that headlight, and the intake scoop is gonna go over that so it'll cover it. All that's left now is to throw the wheels on, lower the car, and we're done. All right, so I finally finished everything up. Got the wheels on, got the car down. I even hooked up the DRLs temporarily, and all started up. Hopefully everything works out. All right, everything is finished. I think it looks pretty badass. Yeah. Fortunately, it's snowing now for some reason because it was warm yesterday, but those DRLs look good. The color match looks pretty good. I think overall this has been a pain in the ass, but a success. So if you want to see more progress on this car, or you like what I did here, or you have any questions about anything, why don't you go ahead and subscribe, give me a like and a comment or whatever you want to do, and be ready for more. I still have a lot more plans for this car, and I still have a lot left to do. So if you're interested, you know what to do.